See you guys. Bye.
So yeah, it's time for the next session. So all of us are excited and anxious of how exactly signal is generated. I mean, if a signal is generated in our system, how will it actually get routed to the exchange and how will it get executed? And to get rid of our anxiety and get more depth into executions, I welcome our next speaker, Mr. Yashas Khoday, co-founder and CTO of FYERS. Just a brief introduction about Yashas. Yashas has built a robust trading ecosystem at FYERS by providing various new age platforms under their umbrella of offerings. FYERS is known to be innovative and was the first brokerage house in India to introduce trading view with drag and drop trading to retail investors. In 2019, Yashil and his team launched free trading APIs to help reduce cost for systematic traders. Recently, he was featured in 30 Under 30 Club of Achievers 2021 Business World, which was conducted by the Business World magazine. FYERS also recently, as recent as yesterday, has won the Bootstrapper Award by the Enterprise magazine. I wouldn't kind of be in between you and Yashal. Yashal, thanks for being the sponsor at the Algo Convention, this platinum sponsor, and thanks for giving your precious time to our users and participants.
Thanks for the warm welcome, Devang, and we're very excited to be here. And just like to tell all the viewers, firstly, that the Algo Convention is very special for us. Very happy to be and excited to be part of the Algo Convention again. And last year, actually, we were awarded the best API provider from the Algo Convention users, and we're very happy to be back again to participate once again. And this time we wanted to take that momentum forward and had some exciting announcements for all the participants today. So yeah, I mean it's good to be part of Algo Convention once again. So before I talk about the big announcements that we have for all of you guys, I want to let's go back a little bit as to how we got started. How has the API journey been so far for us, and what is the road look for us from here onwards? So as you rightly said in the introduction, we launched FYERS APIs in 2019, and we got an overwhelming response after we went live when we have more than thousands of users using our applications and punching orders through our APIs. We've processed millions of orders through the APIs, and it's been tested and used extensively by our users and multiple different third-party platforms as well. So when we got started, it was initially focused towards trading APIs, enabling users to take control of the trading platform and make it be more systematic through their trading. So the idea was to provide free trading APIs to them so that once they have a rule-based engine, they will be able to punch those orders into the trading system without having any manual intervention, which would then lead to discretionary trades. So the whole focus was to make it as simple as possible for traders to use the APIs and then connect their rule-based engine to their trading platform. So we focused heavily on that, but we got a lot of feedback after we went live. So a lot of users actually requested us saying that you're giving us trading APIs, but you're not giving us data APIs. So that was something that we had not pursued in the first launch in 2019, because we were certain that we wanted to focus more on trading reliability and robustness of trading, and we stayed away from data because of that. And over a period of time, the number of users just came back and kept requesting us for data APIs, and that was something that eventually we knew we would have to give out to our users. And that was one huge takeaway which we had ever since 2019. Another important thing was that when we launched in 2019, it was built for the individual user. So on an individual basis, somebody wanted to, use rule-based engines to place orders in their system, just make sure it's simple for that individual user to connect any of their rule-based engine, whether it's SAMI broker or a Python or any of those platforms. But something that happened was that a lot of third-party platforms came out to us and said, we've already built this rule-based engine and we want to integrate it with your APIs to make it easier for FYERS users to use their platform. So these were two major feedbacks which we got, and very happy to announce that with the latest launch, which of FYERS My API, we've taken care of both of these things, and we've enhanced a lot of different functionality to make it easier for users to get started and use rule-based trading to enhance their trading. So with FYERS My API, let me just share my screen so that I can quickly run through the features. Can we please confirm whether my screen is visible?
We can see it.
So when we started off, like I said, we stayed away from trading APIs, but with the launch of My API, one of the biggest things that was missing was the data APIs. So now we've gone out and providing historical data and intraday data through the My API portal. We give out daily time frame historical data for all the way back from 1998 onwards. So 20 plus years of historical data is available. This is extremely useful for historical backtesting, like when Kiruba was talking about how you can do your analysis, and that's extremely important when you're building a rule-based engine. Having access to quality data is something that is extremely important, because that's when you know that your platform, your backtesting results are reliable. So that's something that we've gone on out on a limb for. We provide daily time frame historical data of 20 plus years. Intraday time frame historical data we provide from 2017 onwards. So it's 4+ years of data. This is mainly in equities. And for F&O data, it's obviously for the entire duration of the derivative contract. So all of this is available on the data REST APIs. I will quickly walk you through in a few minutes from now as well, once we go through all the features. Along with providing access to historical data, we also provide WebSockets for real-time data subscription. So if you're running any rule-based engine, you obviously require latest data to flow into your application so that you can check whether your rules have been triggered or not. For this, we're providing WebSockets. You can connect to our WebSockets and access the latest prices, and you can have multiple symbols subscribed at any given point of time. Along with this, like I said, third-party platforms were very keen to integrate with FYERS APIs, and we've made it extremely simple for that. Firstly, on the login side, we've used the most popular mechanisms, which is OAuth 2 and OIDC frameworks. And for third-party platforms, we've made it extremely simple. They don't require users to individually go and allow or enable access. It's a simple integration which can happen one time with FYERS, and then users can log in with a click of a button. So these are two major things that we've taken care of based on the feedback that we received over the last couple of years. Along with that, we've added a lot of functionalities, even including into the trading APIs, which were already available. So, we've added stuff like providing multi-order placement in one API call. So let's say you have a basket order or a multi-legged option strategy which you want to trigger at in a single click. That's something that can be easily achieved. You can add up to 10 legs in one API call itself, and you can fire away the API. We've provided exit position functionalities in a lot more enhanced manner, which makes it easier for your system to take precautionary measures or exit positions based on certain rules and rule sets which you've created. That makes it very easy for RMS and risk management as well. And of course, for long-term investors, EDIS is the way of the future. So we've also enabled the EDIS functionality and extended it into the MyAPI portal itself. Along with that, this is something that was very important for risk management, was trading WebSockets and webhooks. So most users currently, after an order is placed, they keep going back and checking what is the status of the order, whether the order status has changed, and all of those functionalities were actually being handled through continuous polling of the APIs. For example, if somebody places a limit order, they would go back and keep checking whether that limit order has got triggered or not. That is not a very efficient way of doing it. So to make it easier, we've provided WebSockets and webhooks that enables you to just subscribe to order notifications. And anytime an order status changes, your system can immediately be notified that your order status has either changed or a new order is placed or modified or canceled, or any of those changes which happen at an order level. Your system can get notified as soon as that event is triggered. This is extremely important for RMS, because at any given point of time, your system needs to know the latest status of your orders. Along with that, app permission templates is something that we have worked extensively on. So since we've extended out our platforms for third-party users, third-party platforms as well, permissions is something that plays a very critical role. For example, if you've integrated with a platform which you want to use only for RMS view purpose, or just to view the status of your orders and calculating your let's say risk metrics, right? But you don't want to provide access for trading to that particular app. That is something that is configurable. So those are aspects which we have brought into MyAPI, which makes it extremely robust and highly secure for users to even integrate with third-party platforms. And at any given point of time, you can disable those permissions given to apps, so whenever you have stopped using any of these third parties. So these are on the larger scale. These are the things that we've been working on the MyAPI side. Before I get into anything else, I want to keep this session as interactive as possible. So I will be walking through how easy it is to integrate. I'll be going through the API documentation as well. And we'll do a quick walkthrough with Postman and Python to call some of these APIs and get the request response and see how feasible it is to work with the MyAPI portal. So we'll start with, it all starts with the dashboard, where we go in, we can create an app for our API usage. So when we start, we can give it a name. We can add an image. We can provide a redirect URL, wherein I'll go through that as well. We can add description, add postback URLs. And as I was talking about, we can provide permissions for this particular API. Now, since I've already created an app for this demo, we'll stick to this. Along with this, I want to show you the documentation. It's quite extensive and it's very simple to understand as well. So we've tried to keep it as descriptive as possible so that users are, it's a self-onboarded platform. You can use the APIs as and when you require it without much hand-holding. So the most important part to understand is the login flow. That's where we will focus on right now. So after the app is created, we go straight into the login mechanism. So the login flow is actually divided into two parts. One is your, the first part is to hit the APIs. So we follow the OAuth 2 and OIDC framework. So your first part of your authentication is to log in and get an exchange of the auth token. And once the auth token has been received from your platform, you exchange the auth token for an access token. So we'll quickly do this on the Python portal. So we have Python SDKs, JS SDKs, and an entire Postman documentation as well, which will make it easier for all of you guys. So I'll just walk through with the Python integration. So we do a normal pip install. We provide all the credentials which are required over here. We initialize the entire module. And the first step starts with logging into the platform. So once we're logged in, we get the auth code. The auth code is then exchanged. The auth code then needs to be exchanged for the access token. Once we have the access token, which is the second part of the login flow, then with that access token, you can access all of the different resources of the FYERS API. So we'll go back to that. So once we have the access token, the simplest first API which everybody integrates with is the profile API. This gives you, the name, the basic details of the user. You get your profile image, your display name, email ID, all the basic details which are required. From here, I'll just go through some of the other simple API calls. So as soon as you log in, once you have the access token, you can check your order book. You get all of the orders in one API call. And all of the explanations are very clearly given in the API docs. So we have clearly defined what are the different parameters that you're going to be receiving, and which with each of these parameters, what are the different expected outputs that you will be receiving as well. So for example, the status can be any of these 7 statuses, and accordingly your system can handle each of them. It same goes for your position book and your trade book as well. And we have additional functionality of filtering out your order statuses or your positions to make it simpler at the time of order placement and viewing of your orders. Along with that, we go back here. So we can check our positions as well. So each symbol has its own position. And along with that, to make it simpler for calculations, we provide the P&L for each symbol in the API itself. And we provide a summary so that you know at any given point of time, you know what is your total P&L in your account across all positions. So if your RMS wants to take action based on the total P&L, that also can be done here using these values which you get back from the API. From here on, I want to actually spend a little bit of time on the order placement. This is the most critical part of the API. Before that, I want to just go back to the documentation. We've put out a very detailed guide as to what are the things to be taken care of in order placement. So we've spoken about the different order types. We all know them: limit orders, market orders, stop and stop limit. So for each of these, we give out instructions as to what are the things that you need to be passing for these particular order types. Along with that, we all know the 5 product types as well. So intraday, CNC, margin, CO, BO. So we talk about what are the different values that you need to pass while placing these different product types. So for intraday, what are the inputs which are required? Similarly, so intraday, CNC, margin are pretty similar. It's just that for cover orders and bracket orders, there are some additional inputs which have been clearly listed down here for simplicity. And another thing that we need to take care of is price validations. This is something that we all know, that price inputs needs to be in multiples of tick size. So we provide that information to you as well. And quantity validations also have been clearly mentioned here. So coming to order placement, we have 2 ways that you can place an order. One is the simple single order where you place one order at a time. You'll have to pass all the parameters mentioned here. And we have the different available inputs as well mentioned here itself. Along with that, we have multi-orders, like I was saying, for system-driven traders who have, let's say, multiple option-legged orders which they want to place. That can be taken care of through multi-orders. So if you have a 4-legged option or 6-legged option strategy, or up to 10 orders if you want to place at one shot, that can be very simply handled in multi-order. And it's also important to note that when you place a multi-order, the order of execution is also maintained exactly the way it's provided through the API. So if you have 4 orders and you pass it one below the other, it's the same order in which it will get executed. If they're all market, the same order is how it is sent to the exchange for execution. So this is critical because, as we all know, hedge benefit is dependent on which positions get executed first. So maintaining the order of execution is important. So with this, we'll go back to the sample doc as well. So I've already pre-configured the parameters. So since MCX is the only thing open right now, we can place an order in SilverMic. We provide quantity. Type is basically whether it.
Hi, sorry, Yashas. Can you just zoom in your screen a bit? That's what most of the people are asking.
Is this better?
Much better.
All right. So we have all of these parameters which are mentioned in the API docs. Let me just go back to it. And all these parameters needs to be passed. And we also have detailed explanations of what each of them mean. So for example, in type, if you say view details, we know exactly what are the inputs which need to be provided by the order type as well. So I've pre-configured it here as of now. So we're going to be placing an intraday order. As soon as I place the order, I get a status of whether it is placed successfully or not. And along with that, I get an order ID as a response. This order ID is important because you will be able to track whether the order status is confirmed, placed. All of those checks based on order placement can be done based on your order ID. So we've made sure that as soon as you place the order, you get to know the status of the order placement. Along with that, if it is success, you get the order ID as well so that you can take further action from there. So another thing that we spoke of is the webhooks. So you can configure webhooks so that as soon as an order is placed, you get the webhook information into your system. And the webhook response is also exactly the same as the order book response. So you get the same response as the order book as soon as the order gets modified or placed or cancelled or rejected. Any of those functionalities, you will get an order response back in the form of webhook. So along with order placement, we can go towards multi-order placement as well. So again, if we have, like I was saying, that you can place up to 10 orders, it's very simple. The same parameters which were passed in a single order, the same thing needs to be passed multiple times in how many ever orders you want to place. So we can do that. As of now, I have silver, mic, and gold. So in the response, you will get order ID for each status and order ID for each of those orders which you wanted to place. So let's say, and now I place 2 orders, I will get an individual order status for each of those orders so that your system can then track if there is any particular order which did not get placed as well. So it makes it really simple for integration. So this is largely what entails the trading part of the demo. And there are a lot of other features and functionalities, very well documented, and it's quite simple to integrate as well. And it's quite fairly straightforward. So you guys can go through the portal once you all are once you enable your API. From here, I want to go towards the data part because that is something that is extremely critical, and we've wanted to give this access to you guys for a long time. So data is basically in 2 to 3 forms. One is, of course, real-time data through the WebSocket. And we have historical data, which is EOD data, as well as intraday data. So it's very, very simple to access data. So we'll start off with SBIN. So coming back to the documentation again. So your historical data has a few basic parameters which are required. So you basically need one symbol at a time. You cannot query multiple symbols. You have access to get resolutions. You have multiple resolutions that you can request for, right from 1 minute all the way to 240 minutes, which is 4 hours candle timeframes. Along with that, you have EOD data, which comes in the form of daily candles as well. There are two ways of data format as well. One is basically you can request for data based on the epoch Unix timestamp, where you say you want data from and to time. Along with that, you can also provide it in the form of string, whichever is more comfortable for you guys. And you will have to provide it in the form of what is the starting time that you want the data for, and up to what time you want the data for. So with this, we'll dive in straight. So we have the historical data. I'm requesting for SBIN. Resolution is daily. We'll start with that. And I'm passing the date format in the form of string for simplicity. So the candles come out very seamlessly. You can then port this into a data frame through Pandas or any of the popular data analysis platforms that you use. So essentially, the format is timestamp, open, high, low, close, and volume. So you get timestamp OHLCV for each of the candles which are there within that time frame that you requested for. And this goes all the way back to for equities, of course, from 1998. So most symbols, it's from inception itself. Along with this, you can request for intraday historical data. So like I was mentioning, we have different resolutions, right from 1 minute all the way to 4 hours. So for this example, I'm going to be requesting for SBIN data, 15-minute time frame. So we get the intraday candles. Again, the timestamp, open, high, low, close, and volume for each of the candles. This data can then be extrapolated into whichever format is required for your application to do your backtesting or any of those portals. Wherever it's required, you can use this this data. Along with that, and this is another example for futures. Of course, you get data as well. And some applications prefer to send data through Unix timestamps instead of string formats. So we've provided that a functionality as well. So you can provide range from, which is Unix timestamp of 18th, to the latest timestamp as well. And you again get the data seamlessly. Along with this, although we provide WebSockets for real-time data so that you can subscribe and continuously fetch data, we also provide quotes through the REST API. It's meant for users who don't require continuous update. If you just need the data once in, let's say, 1 minute or 2 minutes or 5 minutes, you can integrate using the quotes API. So you can pass multiple symbols at the same time, request the data, and you'll get the latest time, latest price, along with the day high, day low, day close, all of those values for all the symbols in one shot itself. So this is easy when you're tracking multiple symbols and you don't require it on the WebSocket. Data quotes API is something that you can easily integrate with. Along with that, there are some users who require market depth. So you need to know what is the depth that is available for a symbol before you place an order. This is extremely important for options traders, especially to know the spread and the depth which is available before they place orders. So that is also available. So you can get the market depth for one symbol at a time, and you get the top 5 bid and ask for that particular symbol. So yeah, so this is the demo part of it. This is what I wanted to show you guys. And I actually want to be, I want to open out the session for more Q&As, because I guess that's, I mean, I'm sure a lot of users have questions.
Yeah,
And yeah.
no, real thanks, Yashas. I mean, it was so informative, and I mean, especially the data API. I mean, I mean, you've just opened up something very new for our Algo fraternity. There will be many questions, but I'm afraid the time is running out. So what I'll do is ask you a few questions, and then, in your panel, you will see a Q&A. I mean, if you go there, maybe you would want to answer a few of them. You know, you can type out the answers to them. So
Sure.
I will ask a few of them. So just a second. Yeah, question is the historical data adjusted?
Yes, it is corporate action adjusted.
Okay, good. In case of market orders through multi-order API, this is a question from Yogesh Savant. Does your system wait for completed execution of previous order before sending the next order, or they are just fired to the exchange in the order?
So order matching happens at the exchange level. So for us as a broker, our functionality is to make sure that there's least latency between order placement from the user and send it to the exchange. So order matching will happen at the exchange based on the best bid and ask available at that point of time. So we don't stack up the orders at our end. As soon as the RMS checks are through, we push the order to the exchange.
Okay. Rajesh asked, are you charging for the live price API? Currently, you have True Data subscription.
Yes, so True Data subscription is available, but the data APIs of FYERS as of now is completely free. We don't charge for it.
Yogesh asks, have you kind of done some load testing? What is the response time at peak hours, like the order ID and other processing at your end, so that the time against 5+ orders per second at exchange? I mean, basically, he wants to ask what is the response.
One thing I would like to highlight here is that this we have not the My API portal is not catering towards HFT platforms. So it's meant for retail usage over, REST and HTTP protocols. So we've built in multiple layers of scalability in place. So the latency is really not a challenge for retail algo users. We've not seen any major latency whatsoever during our tests, as well as we have thousands of users who are currently using it as well, and latency has never been a challenge on our platform.
Okay, TK asked, is there a way to get a demo account to build and test my rule-based strategy using FYERS data and trade APIs without putting in real money?
That's something in the pipeline. We're building a sandbox environment which replicates the exact live environment. But as of now, no, we don't have a paper trading functionality within the My API. But that's something that will be out soon, and hopefully we'll be able to come back and showcase it to all of you guys.
Do we have historical open interest data for intraday? And if it is, then from what date is it available for
open interest has not yet been added into this.
Okay.
Will be added very soon.
Okay. I guess that's the time that we have. There are quite a few questions. I mean, you can just if you can just scroll through and you can answer as many as you can.
I don't see the questions though. Okay, yeah, got it. I think I was scrolled up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. So
Thank you.
I will be taking these questions. So can
Sure.
I exit and take these questions, or
Yeah,
do
yeah. I
I?
mean, you can. I mean, you have to be a part of the panel to respond to these questions. I mean, so I mean, you can exit your video.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Got it.
and you can take these questions, or if you want to take them offline, also. Just a second. Hold on. I'll just ask. Can these questions be taken offline? Okay. I think you can. You can take them offline.
Okay. And just like to point out that we have a community section where we have a lot of people from users of FYERS API as well, who clarify a lot of the commonly asked questions. Along with that, we have our own team also who reach out to people who have asked those questions and clarify them. So in case you have any queries which are not answered on this Q&A, you can reach us on the community, which we have a lot of people who are out there to support you guys.
Sure. I mean, thanks a lot, Yashash. It was a great session. I'm sure it was very informative, and um, I request people to just open their questions there where to the community page that he was saying, and yeah, I mean, glad to have you here.
All right. Thanks once again and have a
Thank
great
you.
session.
Yeah, thank you.